You are listening to The Tatiana Show. This show may contain adult content, language, and humor and is intended for mature audiences. If that's not you, please stop listening. Nothing you hear on The Tatiana Show is intended as financial advice, legal advice, or really anything other than entertainment. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Oh, and if you're listening to us on an affiliate network, the ideas and views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the network that you're listening on or of any sponsors or any affiliate products you may hear about on this show. Now that that's squared away, let's start the show. Hey there, it's time for the show, the Tatiana Show, where you make friends and talk life and crypto. Thank you to our sponsor, blocktap.io. Please go to their website and check out their universal cryptocurrency API to get reliable cryptocurrency data. blocktap.io. Will you be in New York for Blockchain Week? If so, come by 235 Fifth Ave for a special community event that brings together some of the brightest stars in crypto. Saturday night, May 11th from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Join Tatiana Moroz, Michael Salvi, Naomi Brockwell, Bailey Reutzel, and so many more of your favorite crypto friends for a night of music, comedy, and live entertainment. It's free to attend, so register now. Go to cryptostarevents.com. And also, I want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, Chia.net, blocktap.io, Edgy, Sonicscoop, Bitcoin Magazine, Lennox Group, and of course, Crypto Media Hub. So make sure you go to cryptostarevents.com and get your tickets now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tatiana Show. This is a show being taped on Monday, May 6th, but now the shows are coming out, the Tatiana Show Tuesdays. It's coming out tomorrow, May 7th, so if you're listening to this, you're in the future already. Tatiana Show Tuesdays, and Fridays we're going to be putting out Proof of Love. We're doing a new schedule. Can you believe it? I'm so freaking organized. I'm really happy to be doing this show with you guys today because we've got the upcoming May 11th cryptostarevents.com, cryptostarevents.com. That's where you get all the info. We are doing a live music and live comedy show right here in New York. In the middle of Magical CryptoCon and kicking off the Consensus Week with Blockchain Week here in New York. I'm excited to have some guests that are going to be participating in the show, and we're going to be bringing them on in just a few minutes. But first, I want to say hi to my handsome and wonderful co-host, Josh Shigala from Voltoro. Hey, Josh, how's it going?
Oh, wonderful. It's been another crazy week in crypto. You know, it's just a fun ride all the way, so you can always be pretty good.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to hear that things are going well. What's going on with Voltoro right now? Is that what's keeping you from this amazing excitement in New York?
It is. It's going, we're just ready to launch Voltoro 2.0, which is, the gold trading platform. We've done it for 5 years almost, but Voltoro 2.0 is more cryptos and also silver and all sorts of stuff. And really the design team's so awesome. So it's really fun working with them. And yeah, no, it's great.
So you're actually working while we participate in the social economy of
you guys party. Yeah, you guys party for me.
No, we're networking. This is very important business work. You let the people at your team know that it's critical that you are a part of this plan.
I've definitely written off a lot of conferences as networking when really they were just big fun parties.
You're going to get yourself in trouble. This is so bad. How are we going to play this for your team? Every single time, it's just important. And I actually think this is true, all joking aside. Like, you can't go to a conference and think only about the business that you're going to get done, because sometimes you don't know what kind of business you're going to get done. And this is like a community-facing thing. So you have to be kind of friends with the people since we have a larger goal ahead of us, right? Freedom for everybody, access to sound money, liberty for all. So anyway.
And it's so chaotic when you go to an event, you don't know who you're going to bump into. So it's a really sort of a great way to accidentally find some perfect partner in whatever you want to do, or get ideas of where the business would go without knowing beforehand. And I think events like yours is really good because you get to meet people at a human level and sort of step back from the whole business, have a wall up sort of thing, whereas you can really relax and really, there's such good people at some crypto events. So it's amazing.
Well, we have over 300 registered guests for this. Now, I don't know if everybody's going to come out. It's a big venue. We're there for 6 hours from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Wow.
But that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I couldn't have done it without all the wonderful people working on this event. So if people go to Crypto Star Events, they can check it out. But just a few of the people, Naomi Brockwell is going to be performing, Diana Zinni, Susanna Winspear, Megan Wright. We have a special DJ guest who actually I'm going to announce right now. We're going to have Zhao Tong DJ, which is so fun. And I don't know, a lot of people may know some of their parody songs that they have.
They've been around for many years, yeah.
Right? So it's some OG stuff and maybe Ollie, and then we've got amazing comedians. We've got Mike Salvi, Bailey Reutzel, who's on the show just in a little while. We're going to hear from her. Che Sasa, Jack Wills, Lawrence Arnell, Rich Owen, John Gardner, Adam Elliott, Kira Wagstaff, Sam Hancock, and we also have Margot Avedissian, who's been a longtime crypto comic. She's flying in and coming right over to the event. So we have at least 15, close to 20 different performers. And I don't know. I mean, basically, you're going and checking out cool live stuff for free on a Saturday night right before one of the biggest conferences of the year, if not the biggest conference of the year. Yeah, so it's going to be cool. I want to bring up our first guest. It's actually one of our media partners and also a good friend of mine who has made the transition from the music world into the blockchain world. And that's our media partner from Sonicscoop, David Weiss. David, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, Tatiana. Great to be here.
Awesome. So David, you've been in the crypto space now for a while. You've been doing a lot of writing. I know I hooked you up with the folks over at Bitcoin Magazine, who's another media sponsor of the event. Tell the audience a little bit about you and why you were so excited to work with us.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because definitely me and blockchain wouldn't have happened without you, Tatiana. So, you know the story as well as anyone, but it'd take a minute to tell the whole thing. But I really appreciate how you kept urging me to apply my own writing talents to blockchain, and I really didn't know if it was something I could get my head around. And now, over a year later, I can really say that I'm just extremely appreciative that you steered me in that direction, because I love writing about blockchain and crypto, and it's really been a huge revelation for me personally, and opened up a new dimension in my mind and my writing. And I've really amazed myself with what I can do and learning about this space. And all along the way, I've been continuing to write and be the editor and co-founder of Sonicscoop.com, which was founded, you said a while ago, you're right, it's been almost 10 years. I can't believe it.
No.
But yeah.
You lied.
No,
Holy
we launched.
Cannoli. That's a long time.
Yeah, we started in August of 2009. So maybe we'll team up with you to have the anniversary party a couple months up the road. But we've been covering music production and the studio scene. We started out focusing on New York City because that's where my co-founder Janice Brown and I were centered, and then we spread out to covering LA and Nashville and the world. With everything we do, but we're not just a place to go to find out how to set up your vocal mic or tweak your compressor or anything like that. We also cover the music business pretty extensively, because I have co-authored one of the leading textbooks on music supervision and sync licensing. It's called Music Supervision. Check it out on Amazon. But that gave us an edge in covering the music business as well. So when I started writing about blockchain for Sonicscoop to start covering it was pretty natural. And I'll add that our other editor, Justin Coletti, has a serious libertarian streak, and he certainly knows a thing or two about crypto himself.
He's been on the show.
What's that? Yes, that's right. Yeah, you guys have conversed. So when you asked us to be a part of Crypto Stars, I didn't have to think twice about it, especially because Tatiana, you and I have a little history in attending parties as well. So I think it was all a really good match.
Yeah, well, we've known each other from the recording studio business. Some of my listeners, I don't know if they know, I used to manage a lot of different recording studios. And so David has known me from the music days. And yeah, it's great that we're getting to work on this together. And we thank you so much for being a media sponsor. I know you guys just did some posts about it and are sharing it with your audience. So I really want to see not just crypto people at this event. And I think that we will get some of that music crossover. That's why, you know, some of the artists and some of the comedians, they're new to crypto. Most of them already have some. We've also got Edge Wallet as one of our sponsors, so maybe we'll help people set something up like that. But I'm glad to have the crossover. So thank you so much for believing in Bitcoin. You were my only friend from the music industry that actually gave a damn when I was talking about Tatiana coin back in 2014 and Bitcoin back in 2013 and 12.
All right. Well, I'm glad we could get there first, or that I could, and everyone's definitely listening to you now. And when it comes to converging crypto and music as well as audio, I really see it there. People who are in audio engineers are used to learning something new every day. That comes hand in hand with being a great engineer and making new discoveries. But I think even for people in the audio space, blockchain can feel intimidating, and that's true no matter what industry you're in. It just seems like a very complex topic to grasp. So anything that we can do to help bring it closer is really important to us, and that's why I think the Crypto Stars party is absolutely perfect for that. I've been saying in my posts, where there's music, there's audio. That's how I'm trying to attract my crowd, and I think they're responding. They want to know more about what's going on, and we're gonna help show them in lots of ways. But doing it over some great musical acts and some comedy is a great way to start.
Awesome! I'm so happy to have you participating. Josh, did you want to say something?
No, it's just it's great, and it's just fantastic being a writer in this space. I'm sure, because it's just such a crazy world. You know, there's always something that's going down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't get to write about nearly as much blockchain and crypto as I like. I've certainly seen that my own lane, my specialty is in enterprise and adoption and community within the blockchain space. I've learned a great deal from one of your guests coming up today, Bailey. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. All the writers in this space have informed me so much, as well as the podcasters. And writing for this space, though, has been really terrific for me, Josh, because I've gotten to see how I really do have a voice and my own style to offer to this community, and that was something that I really didn't expect, and to see that unfold has been thrilling.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, David. Glad to have you on the show. I'm sure we'll have you on again. And people, please check out Sonicscoop.com, and you can get some music news and also hear all about Crypto Star events and how we're partnering with Sonicscoop. So thanks, David, for joining us. And yeah, we've got more people. We actually have a new addition to the conference. Well, we're not really a conference. We're kind of like a party/event. So we have a friend of mine, Chris Arcella. I hope I'm saying his last name right. I don't call people by their last name. But Chris is coming on, and he is working with the Bitcoin Executor, which is an upcoming crypto themed film, I guess. But what he's showing at our event, because, you know, we've got live music and live crypto, but why limit it to that? There's so much creativity in the crypto space. He has a short video. So he's on to tell us a little bit about that, a little bit about what he's been working on and what we can expect with the Bitcoin Executor. And welcome to the show, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. So this short film is called the Satoshi Sculpture Garden, and it's kind of a kickoff mini project to a much larger project. The much larger project is a narrative feature film that aims to educate people about Bitcoin and about basic monetary policy that exists in our financial system. And it all stems from a question that I faced a couple of years ago. And I think you guys may have faced the same question yourselves. And that question is, how do you introduce this technology to your friends and family or people who you know that just approach you as the Bitcoin person to learn more? And I felt like, wouldn't it be great if you could just send people one link and that link was to something entertaining and educational, and then they could get back to you and you could talk about it if they wanted. So that's really the goal of this film.
Oh, very cool.
To be that source material that you can just send to your friends and they can digest much more easily than reading a white paper or, exploring on their own, which requires a lot of energy, I think, to sift through the material. It's pretty complicated when you dive into it. It can be a rabbit hole. So we're trying to consolidate this information and give people a nice format that they can just sit down and maybe Netflix and chill or whatever and just watch and hopefully enjoy it.
Awesome. And then what is the timeline for that project?
We are currently in pre-production, and so we've had a few. We're moving kind of like a startup, so it's an interesting approach. The film industry, they're interested in certain ideas, and the traditional film industry will not be interested in our idea the way that we want to do it. We want to tell the real story. We want to be objective. We want to create something that's not strictly aiming for entertainment points. So this is all on our own. So we have a few companies coming in to support us. We had BitMEX, who have given us development funding, and we had Delta Portfolio Wallet, or Portfolio app, which some of you may be using. They're also one of our sponsors. And we've moved through development. We have a script. We have our lead actor cast, who is Amari Cheatham, very good actor, a graduate from Juilliard. And we've moved into pre-production, and we have pre-production funding from a private investor, and we're looking for production funding right now. That's where we are. Awesome.
Is it hard to get funding for this kind of thing, or you think that because of the community interest in it, that should be that's gonna work?
I think finding funding is always a challenge, and whenever I talk to people about this idea, the response has been good. This response has been great. And I think it's just a matter of getting people on board who other people in the space trust and that they can understand where this film is coming from. They don't want it to turn into something they're not ideologically aligned with. But I think that people will start to see, hopefully they'll be starting to see where we're coming from. We want people to understand Bitcoin. We want them to understand. I think when people want to learn about Bitcoin, it's important to have a foundation in our current financial system, and most people don't. They don't know where the money comes from. And that's important because they need to understand why Bitcoin exists and what they can gain from it and what its value is. And I don't think you can fully grasp that without understanding the basics about the Federal Reserve or just about how our current system works.
I think that's my hat goes off to you because that's exactly what I try to do at conferences all the time. I don't ever talk about my company I'll weave it in there sometimes, but really it's about educating people, not about the Lambos and the moons and the price. It's really about what is debt-based money. Why is having money printed out of nowhere with interest that doesn't exist not a good system from the get-go? And once you get into crypto, what's beautiful is you start to question things. You look at the USD like another shitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing how we don't have a very good basic economics education in our curriculums in the United States. So what we're trying to do is consolidate all of these points into a fiction film. So in a way, the way I like to explain it is if you've seen The Big Short, you learn something while you're watching that, and it's a story. We're doing the same thing. It's not a historical fiction or historical recreation or anything like that. It's an original story about two economics professors, and we weave the material through the story arc. So hopefully you won't feel like you're watching something that's overly educational. You'll just be engaged in the story and you'll be learning at the same time.
I think that that's awesome. I'm super excited about this because, you know, as an artist, I always thought it's really important to use my art to create awareness around ideas that I thought were valuable to humanity. And I feel like I was a little bit misdirected until I saw the film The Money Masters and America, Freedom to Fascism and Fiat Empire. Like those movies to me, all of a sudden directed my activism so it would actually be effective. Whereas before, it's very misleading. If you look at a problem, you look at healthcare and you say, there's a problem in healthcare. But if you don't understand economics, especially from the Austrian perspective, you're going to potentially offer a different prescription for the wrong disease. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to say, well, we just need more of this. And it's actually like, oh no, that's definitely not what you want to do. And once people understand those general principles, I think then you can have a real conversation about solutions, because leading up to that, it's like arguing in fantasy. I don't know. Economics has been such a pleasure for me to learn about. Yeah. And it's something that it's so unappealing to people. But if you care about the world, the best thing that you can do is understand incentives and how these kinds of things come together. And that's what's been, I think, a cool convergence for the whole crypto community with the arts is that if you, I don't know, it's a really, really cool time to be alive and to be all participating and find all these different people with different backgrounds that have this common goal that's achieved through actual math and economics.
Wow, Tatiana, that, you know, the Money Masters woke me up as well, kind of thing. I mean, well, woke me up, that sounds very religious, but it was really after 9/11 starting to look for reasons, and Money Masters was a real big 3-hour long rabbit hole, or whatever, how many hours it is, 4 hours.
3.5, I think.
Yeah. And I remember watching it like twice, not in a row, but pretty close after, because it was just a bombardment of info where you just really left like, wow, okay, I get it. And going down that rabbit hole.
Well, you can skip a whole grade of social studies, literally. Like, I don't think that I learned very much in school. I naturally did well in school. I didn't do a lot of studying, and I feel like it was pretty worthless. What I learned from the Money Masters alone, even though it has the most crappy production value and those kinds of films, is it replaces the need for schooling in a lot of ways, because then you can like think critically and not necessarily listen to slogans or advertisements. I don't know. It's really great. So I'm psyched about this, Chris. What?
Oh, thank you. I think it has a lot to do with the narrative in pop culture. You think about before the internet, how many people were hanging around talking about gigabytes and like RAM, and now you can be on the subway and you hear some gangsters talking about that sort of thing, and you're like, whoa, what happened? Now everybody's sort of a nerd. And I think once Bitcoin and I guess you could say other cryptocurrency projects, although we're mainly focused on Bitcoin, once they start to infiltrate the common dialogue of our culture, pop culture especially, I think people are going to be you'll hear people talking about economics in a similar way. Like everybody's going to need to know a little bit in order to participate in the economy. So that'll be pretty fascinating. Well, one thing I wanted to add about what we're trying to do is we don't want to create a propaganda film. I mean, we believe in Bitcoin, and we strongly, but we want to allow people to come up with their own opinions. And I think it's important to give them an objective view that is going to stand alone amidst all the FUD that you're going to see in the mainstream media about this technology, and that we already do see. But you give people an opportunity to just get an objective viewpoint and make up their own minds. I think that's really important to us.
Right on.
Well, so we're really happy to have you as a part of this event on May 11th. You're going to be showing Satoshi Sculpture Garden. Have people seen this yet, or are they only seeing it now? We don't want them to see it before the thing.
Some people have seen it, and it was featured in Filmmaker magazine. So what we were trying to do is create a smaller project that could cross over quickly and just be a good way to kick off this larger project. But that being said, we haven't screened it publicly, like in a live setting yet. So this will be the world premiere of a live screening of
Wow. I like that. Excellent. Very cool. I will use that in our social media. So thanks so much for joining us. Where can people hang out with you? Thanks for, participating. It's thebitcoinexecutor.com. So
That is correct. And thank you so much for having us.
Thanks so much. Cool. Thanks. And we'll see you on Saturday.
We'll see you then.
Awesome. All right. So
Bye.
Everybody, the moment you've been waiting for, the lady of the hour, Bailey Reutzel from Coindesk, from Money Tripping, from hanging out at cool saunas with me in New York and New Jersey, a woman that's not afraid to travel to New Jersey. What's going on, girl? How are you?
Hi, good. That was quite the introduction. Thank you so much. Lady of the hour. I love that.
Indeed. Well, you're going to be joining us on May 11th, and I think what you're doing is really cool, and I'm very glad to be a part of it, because I don't know when you thought of doing this overall, but you're doing your first time of stand-up, right?
Well, okay, so in preparation for this Saturday, I have been going to some open mics. So I did my first open mic yesterday.
Whoa, how did it go?
It went pretty well, actually. It was so here's the thing. I am a storyteller, which is pretty obvious. I'm a journalist. That's what I do. So I tell funny stories, and stand-up is a little bit different than that. So I'm trying to sort of make those two things overlap a little bit better. But I will say, the storytelling, stand-up, two different things. I'm going to try to sort of put them together and make sure like everybody who wants to hear storytelling and stand up get what they want. But it went pretty well, to be fair. It was a really weird show too, because like several of the comics got up and immediately picked somebody out in the audience and just started like roasting them.
Oh, that's
I don't like roasting.
It was actually, me and Sam Hancock, who's also on the bill for Saturday, we're roommates, good friends. We just kind of looked at each other like, oh shit, like this is going to be one of those moments where we might get roasted and we don't want that. But they didn't roast us. So that was cool.
Who were the poor suckers that got roasted?
It was just like other comics, and you couldn't really tell if these people were friends and that's why they were roasting each other. In one case, I don't think so, because then like the other comic got up and he's like, where was that asshole who was like roasting me? Oh, he's not here. He could have heard me kill it or something. It was really strange. But that guy also, when he came up on stage, he tripped and like fell into the back wall. And everybody was like, wait, was that part of it? But he broke the microphone stand. So I don't think it was part of it.
Did you go all Queen? Did you go all Queen and just hold it by the pole?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It was really, really very strange. So, open mics in New York. I don't know.
Which club did you go to? Because I want to go to the Comedy Cellar. We have to organize a night of fun, just activities. After all this consensus stuff dies down, because it's been too intense. But where did you go? Where's the cool places to go to in New York?
We performed at Greenwich Village Comedy Club last night. But my favorite mic that I've been to so far is Under St. Mark's. It's the Tuesday night open mic. And what's really cool about it is they're really supportive of everybody. A lot of people are just getting up there, trying new stuff, which is what you do at open mics, but everybody's super supportive there. And they do music, they do comedy, they do some like weird artsy storytelling.
What time is it?
Kind of stuff. It's at 9 p.m. It's a bit late on a Tuesday on a school night, but it's my favorite so far.
Wow. Well, yeah. I got invited to an Imogen Heap concert on Tuesday, tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. So I was going to say I would want to go, but I also thought that was applicable because I've never heard her live or anything like that. And obviously she's another musician in crypto. So I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah. So are you excited? I guess you're pumped. What else has been going on? You just got back from Belize?
I did just get back from Belize, like a week or so ago. That was just vacation, just de-stressing on the beach. Although it wasn't as stress-free as possible because I guess during Easter, we went over Easter. During Easter, like all of Belize comes to this one beach location that we were at and just parties really fucking hard. So it was like also a lot of drinking and being hungover, which is not super stress-free.
No, I didn't drink much when I was in the Bahamas. Oh yeah, everybody, I was in the Bahamas. I have a very good tan. It'll probably fade by the time I'm in public enough to show it because it's been raining and 40 degrees outside. Right, yep. 50. Okay, so then you got back, and what's up? What's going on for a consensus?
Yeah, well, I am actually really looking forward to being on the other side of consensus, just because it's so hectic. Like sort of building the couple panels that I'm pretty excited about that I'll be moderating is, well, one is a workshop, so a 2-hour workshop about how crypto can maybe help Venezuela rebuild after Maduro gets pushed out. And that's, it's really in flux right now. Nobody really knows what's going on. So I really can't prepare for that until like the day before. But we have people from the Venezuelan embassy. We have a couple activists who have been like on the ground in Venezuela. Crypto Graffiti is going to be there. AirTM, Crypto Concierge. So we have, I think, about 18 speakers during that 2-hour workshop, and it's just trying to create like a day after plan for when Guaido's regime comes in, and seeing if they can seeing if they can utilize some crypto or blockchain technology to rebuild their infrastructure there. So that's the first really cool thing I'm doing. The second is we have a panel that's going to be like punk rock crypto, basically. So in the age where you have a lot of crypto startups sort of acting more and more like the established parties that we've seen in finance and banking and everything else, there's still pockets of people who are, doing things that would make Gigi Allen blush still. So the Venezuela panel is part of that. So we have somebody from sort of the crypto space in Venezuela on that panel. We have somebody who's doing some work in Syria. I think we have Amir Taki is going to do like a pre-recorded little speech about his crypto anarchy.
Wow, he is back.
So, yeah, totally. Cool. So that'll be really cool. So those are the two I'm really looking forward to.
Wow.
That's awesome, man. I can really resonate with the punk rock, crypto. Coming from, those early days were really about all of that. It was about total disruption. And then more and more these conferences just got taken over by law and KYC and AML and structure and KPMG and PwC and blockchain. And
listen, those companies are paying the bills right now.
That's true.
So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But I do think that there's some compromises that we have to make when it gets a little bit more corporate. That's for sure. Obviously,
Yeah, totally.
Those are some cool tracks. I just read an article. I didn't completely like it, but I thought that it had some good points from a woman that writes for you guys, Diana. It's a CoinDesk piece, I think. Mm-hmm. Is she involved in your Venezuela thing?
Yeah, so she should be there, and she's definitely going to be at Consensus. So yeah, I need to circle around with her because she just wrote about how crypto will not save Venezuela. Was that sort of the headline on it?
Yeah, there was it was an interesting article. I thought that she had some good points, but overall, I think it could be a really good boon to the area and overall. And some of her concerns, I think, are valid. Obviously, I think she would have a better idea, but I think they could be worked around. And I think that in such a bad area, I think we would basically agree on 95% of what she wrote. It was insightful. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think, so this is part of what I've been talking about with the panelists that I have at that workshop. It's look, crypto is still, and blockchain is still in the very early stages. And so to sort of go to a government or lawmakers and be like, this stuff is ready for prime time and you should build from the ground up with this kind of stuff seems like just a little naive. But I will say that the people in Venezuela are already using crypto because of the hyperinflation and because of their inability to buy things with their money and just in their stores. So I think it's a good idea to start pushing crypto in terms of now that, you know, when Venezuela becomes not a hellhole or shit show.
We're actually, you know, because we do gold and Bitcoin, and we're going to maybe do a little stint where we try to get people to sell their gold, because there's a lot of people panning for gold again, breaking their backs, and then they sell it for that filthy fiat that's hyperinflating, and to try and get them instead to convert to crypto. So that'd be awesome. I think, you know, and there's so many. Crypto Graffiti did such good stuff down there as well, and you know, and other crypto projects like Dash are also doing a lot of work in Venezuela. So it's just great to see what people are doing there to make the grassroots really grow.
Yeah, totally. And we also, so this is not necessarily part of the conference, but we also have a reporter, Rachel Rosaleri, who's in Syria right now, and she is working with a group of technologists and, you know, activist people over there to sort of help them rebuild their infrastructure with crypto in mind. Again, not trying to build everything based on blockchain, but at least teaching people that crypto and blockchain is a space that they can get into, and that might help in some ways. So that's like a really impressive thing that she's doing, and that I'm very jealous about that she's doing, because I would love to be over there. So yeah.
I like the mindfulness of not over promising and under delivering, because I think the arrogance and of enthusiasm can be potentially very harmful. So at the same time, these are such fertile grounds for experimentation. And I don't know, we just had Crypto Concierge on Jonathan a couple of weeks ago on the Tatiana show. So he was telling us about what was going on. And even if crypto is not touching the lives of tens of thousands of people, I think you could definitely say thousands of people's lives are being improved there. And that's a lot. That's awesome. And I don't know, super cool. I like your idea, Josh, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's just, I can't believe that people actually bend their backs the whole day and then, you know, accept that hyperinflating fiat. It's crazy when you can just get some crypto. I mean, bring it on.
So what's next for you, Bailey?
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I think I'm going to try to really push this comedy thing. That's what's keeping me up at night and out till 3 a.m. for most of the weekdays. So I'm trying to experiment with that a little bit more, storytelling and comedy. And like I said, my roommate, she's also a comic. So we're going to try to do some like duo comedy at some point, just sort of like, so one of the things that has happened over my 2 years full time at Coindesk is that I've moved into sort of the multimedia role. So I'm doing like a lot of video stuff, a lot of audio stuff, and trying to connect that with text and just sort of like put all the mediums together. And I think that's kind of what sprung this inspiration to get up in front of people, because it's a lot less intimidating to get up in front of people if you're, you know, used to being on camera or used to doing that. So it just seems to all be sort of overlapping. So yeah, I'm going to see what I can do there.
I like the evolution, you know, there's a lot of room to evolve in the space, and I don't know, but as a person, I don't think it is that easy, especially, I don't know, I would think it would be a little bit scary to do stand up, but I like the idea that you have around mixing storytelling into it. And I don't know, I'm down to watch it for the first time. Oh my gosh, it's going to be
I know. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for putting me on the bill. It's definitely a little bit scary. I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline rushing when you get on stage. But I do think in my mind, like, it's more nerve-wracking to create a video because that's going to be online forever. Whereas these 20 people are going to hear me at stand-up, and then I'll never see them again.
Well, hopefully we'll have more than 20 people. I'm pretty sure we're going to have more than that.
Yeah. Here we will. So this is like a more nerve-wracking event that I'm doing, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm pumped.
Totally.
I've always been scared of, if I did too much comedy, I'd get depression. You always hear about comics getting depression because they understand how jokes work, and then nothing's funny really, but they understand it technically. It's really funny.
Yeah. I have this book called Planet Funny that I've been meaning to read, and I think it goes into that a little bit. But it's about how like comedy has taken over our culture, and nothing is too soon to make a joke of, nothing is too inappropriate to make a joke out of, and yeah.
Do you do any edgy comedy? Like, do you insult anybody? And what do you think about the whitewashing of comedy? For example, how comedians can't go to colleges anymore?
I don't know much necessarily culturally about the comedy scene. So I can give my thoughts there, but they're not particularly intellectual, I guess. The whitewashing I don't know as much about.
Yeah, what's that about? What?
They have to self-censor themselves.
Oh.
Because the college, they all like start crying and stuff, and you're not allowed to make a joke, and nobody can take a joke. So are you going to like make any kind of edgy stuff, or no? Do you care about that? I don't insult people personally. I don't
think I insult anyone. It's more like taking the piss out of myself. So, because I tend to just have like really weird things happen to me. And so like a lot of those actually involve dating or going home with people. So I will say that I think my comedy and my storytelling is edgy in terms of maybe taboo topics that people wouldn't offer up that story if it happened to them. That this shouldn't be any surprise. Like I use cuss words and don't care to use those. So I guess it's edgy in some ways. It's definitely not wholesome comedy.
Yeah, good. Well, that means that you should come on Proof of Love and tell us some stories. I think that would be really fun. That's what we should have, is like bad story time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got tons of those. Yeah, just this weekend picked up another one. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to hear it. Okay, cool. So any final words before we break? We've had a nice show. I enjoyed all of our guests. So thank you, Dave. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Bailey, for joining us today. People, there's going to be show notes, thetatianashow.com. You can get all the information from the show, and you can find the links to all of our guests. Make sure you come out and support us. Like us on social media, retweet this event if you see it in your feed. And Bailey, what's your email and contact? Well, not email. I guess you can include that if you want. But what's your contact info? People want to follow your work.
I'm not going to give out my email, although it's pretty easily found on the internet. But you can follow me on Twitter. I'm BLR13. And then also my Facebook is just where I shamelessly promote all my content. So if you're interested in that, I'm just Bailey Reutzel.
Awesome. And she's also on CoinDesk, so you'll see her at the upcoming Consensus Conference and also at CryptoStars, CryptoStarEvents.com. Get your tickets now, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Hey there, it's time for the show, the Tatiana Show, where you make friends and talk life and crypto. We gotta think and reflect and use lots of intellect with our hearts when we work together. I know that it can be so hard out there, looking all around and saying that life ain't fair. So that is why we will fight and stay up late at night, listening to the Tatiana Show. What's the point of all this technology without a little love in our lives? Our hosts, Tatiana Moroz, Dr. Stephanie Murphy, and Lauren Kasovitz, have come together to bring you Proof of Love. Go to proofoflovecast.com. Thank you for listening to The Tatiana Show. Please follow us on Twitter at Queen Tatiana or on Facebook and Instagram at Tatiana Moroz Music. More episodes can be found at thetatianashow.com, and make sure you leave a review on iTunes and tell your friends. The Tatiana Show has been brought to you by CryptoMediaHub.com, a boutique marketing and PR agency for Bitcoin and beyond.